Hi, I'm Randy Simmons with Eye on Arts. Today's guest is going to be Gail Robinson-Butler, and she's the director of the Clemens Fine Arts Center. Thanks for coming in today and talking about the next season coming up.
Thanks for having us. We're always excited to talk about
Well, we've got a lot to
events.
talk about, actually.
We do.
Well, I was noticing, I was going through the brochure, and there is a ton of things.
There are a
coming
lot
up.
of things going on. We were really ambitious, and you're on the Arts and Focus Committee, so you helped us be ambitious this year.
Yes. Well, I was actually I was looking through, and there's so much going on, and I thought maybe we could start out by talking about how do you pick the shows that are coming up in the season?
Well, it's a several-step process, and it starts in September for me this year, and I traveled to Little Rock, Arkansas for the booking conference, booking and professional development conference of this time I went to Midwest Arts. Sometimes I go to Midwest, sometimes I go to Southern Arts. And this time I decided, for a lot of reasons, to go to the Midwest conference. And there you meet agents and representatives of various artists. Sometimes you meet the artists themselves. You have an opportunity to see showcases of new works and emerging artists, and that's always helpful for series like the Campus Series and for Backstage Pass. But that's the time when everybody is there with their promotion information about shows that will be touring in the next season. And of course, even though there's half of our 2006-7 season left, I'm working on 2007-8 now.
Wow.
So, and after I kind of get things in order and decide, first of all, what will fit in our venue, because not everything will. Secondly, what we can afford, and most importantly, what we think that we can bring an audience to. And then we have to look at things like, quality of performance, whether there's any educational value to it, because sometimes we have the luxury of just doing something strictly for fun, and then other times we want to add an educational outreach activity, a workshop of some description or a master class. So once we get all of those factors defined, then I take it to the selection committee, which is a subcommittee of the Arts and Focus Committee, and we look at DVDs, we look at press packages, we talk to agencies about, routings and dates, and a lot of times good deals can be had later in the booking process because they need to fill a date. If a tour that we want to book is in Nashville one week, in St. Louis the next week, and they have an open Tuesday night, we might be able to present a really big show, a good show that we might not otherwise be able to afford on that Tuesday night, and give them rooms and some money, rather than have them not making any money at all on that night. So that's kind of a synopsis, a brief lesson.
Right. Plus, we have some competition in town.
Sure.
Too.
Sure. There are several other two other performance venues in town that are not for profits, and then there, of course, for profit, the Executive Inn Showroom and the Convention Center, Harrah's across the river. They're bringing in country artists all the time. And when you talk about competition, you're not only talking about other entertainment venues, you're talking about baseball and basketball and football.
Right.
You're talking about anything that takes people's time. And in many surveys that have been done recently, people have more expendable income than expendable time.
What I thought was really interesting is that you actually outreach to the community and try to get ideas for shows.
We do.
As well.
We do. In fact, our student workers have been calling people in the last few weeks, right before the semester is over, asking them what their favorite show was, what their least favorite show was that they've seen in recent years, the kind of things that they would like to see. And I think that's really important, and I think that's a service that we can offer. And so we've been calling all of our season subscribers for this year, and then we will be at the next 3 shows distributing surveys and having someone there to collect them at the end of the night, to not only get that kind of information, but also to see who our audience is.
It's great that you're keeping a sort of a pulse on the community to see what their likes and dislikes are. And what's also interesting is some of the productions that we put on ourselves. We invite the community to come in and audition
Right.
for those parts.
Right. And we also give the community and our students the opportunity to work with professional touring companies and to be paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for someone who thinks they want to be in the world of theater, sometimes a really eye-opening experience, because it's not a lot of fun to be on the road. It's hard, hard work. And if one of our students who thinks they want to be a performer comes in and has to see that they load in at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're finished about 2 o'clock the following morning, and then they're back on the bus going to the next show. So, you know, it's not an easy life, and so it's a good way for students as well as community members to get an inside look at what it's like to tour theater. And they come out smiling, looking good.
And we've got a variety coming up in the spring semester. So we
do.
have the Focus series,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have a Backstage Pass
Mm-hmm.
series, and I'm leaving some the
The
keynote
campus series, the
Campus
keynote
series.
series, the on the road. We were busy this year, but the main stage series, the Focus series, is the bigger shows, and that is the subscription series. People can buy season tickets for that particular series, and that kicks back off in January in a big way.
So the first show that we have coming up is,
I love you, you're perfect, now change, Randy.
that's what my wife tells me all the time. So what's in store for the viewer on that show?
It is a wonderfully funny musical comedy about dating and mating and romance, and it's just really, really funny. 4 actors play over 40 different roles, and it's a series of vignettes with great music and dancing and a lot of comedy. And it just talks about, it shows us actually what it's like to go on blind dates, the wedding night, the wedding planning, and it just takes different things that happen in life and put music and dancing and comedy to it. And my husband and I saw it in New York, and off-Broadway. It's one of the longest running off-Broadway shows in New York, and is still running. And it's great. It's just a funny show, and you will leave laughing and singing.
And who should come to see this show?
Adults. You know, I mean, it's not going to be offensive. So, I mean, I'm thinking it's probably PG-13. Anybody who wants to have a good time should come to see this. You know, young children probably are not going to appreciate it, and their parents might not want them to see it. But anybody who wants to come have a good time, all of our Focus patrons will love it. You would like it. You and your wife would like it.
And we'll be here for it.
Right. So it's great. I loved it.
And the date, January 20th?
January the 20th at 7:30. Tickets are on sale now. I looked at the seating chart, and there is only one show, and it's getting full. So I think it will sell out, you know, pretty quickly.
All right, so order early.
Order early, order now, because
And they
people
can-
are continually buying.
And they can call, or can they
Yeah.
get those tickets online?
No, they cannot yet, but they can call and order their tickets on the phone, or they can drop by the box office. The phone number is 270-534-3212, and our box office manager will be happy to help them.
Great.
Yeah.
And right after that, we're going into, is it the Golden Dragon
Yeah,
Acrobats?
and literally, I think that's like 2 weeks later or something, on February 6th. It's on a Tuesday night. It was one of those great routed dates that I was talking to you about earlier. And the Golden Dragon Acrobats are carrying on the Chinese tradition of fine quality acrobatic families who, some of the feats they do are just unbelievable. I mean, they are truly amazing. I think you saw the DVD of this performance, and they are really amazing. And the costuming, there's some traditional ethnic dance, as well as the ladder of chairs that they'll build. And the really trick to building that is that the guy is on top of the chairs as he adds the chairs to build a
Wow.
ladder all the way up to the top curtain. So there's that. There's all kinds of, you know, great acrobat tricks. So it's a company, a very large company, very splashy, fun kind of show. Kids will love it, family oriented. So it's on Tuesday, February the 6th at 7:30.
Right, so you don't want to buy seats in the front 2 rows in case something happens.
You know what? I bet there aren't any seats in the front 2 rows left. But, you know, I think it'd be all right to be in the front 2 rows. I've seen them before. They look pretty good at what they do.
Great. So you got a lot of family fun coming in on Tuesday, February the 6th.
Yes.
The next show, and man, it's just like a couple of weeks later, you have a tribute to the King.
Yes, and of course that is the King, Elvis Presley of rock and roll. And this is the young Elvis. And Travis LeDoit, who is a wonderful performer, looks like Elvis, sounds like Elvis, moves like Elvis, does only the young Elvis work from the early 50s. And so what you experienced that night is like a 1955 Elvis concert when, you know, you couldn't see his hips on the Sullivan Show. So he's really good and a lot of fun. And that show is selling like hotcakes. I mean, it is amazing, the followers. I mean, Travis has his own followers as an Elvis, I hate to say impersonator, because he's not, he's a tribute to Elvis. And he has his own followers, his own website, and you would be amazed at the number of calls we're getting for that show. It's going to sell quickly.
And he's got his own band playing as well.
Yeah, and it's, you know, he's played at the Elvis festivals in Tupelo, Mississippi, and, you know, I think some of the people in Elvis's original band have seen him play and talked about, you know, what a wonderful young Elvis he does. And I think that's what makes him really successful at this. He focuses on one era and one style of music. Because, you know, the music changed. Elvis's music changed over the years. And so it's more that rockabilly style that we first heard from Elvis. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, pre-Viva Las Vegas.
Pre-Viva Las Vegas.
Peanut butter
and
banana
Margaret.
sandwich.
Yeah, that's right.
Elvis.
And yeah, and it's a really good show. I've had the opportunity to see Travis twice at various showcases, and he's real consistent in the quality of his performance.
So a lot of fun actually for the entire family.
It really
to
is.
Come check this out.
Yeah, it really is. Now you could see the hips on TV, and so it's another family show that would be real well, you know, go over really well. But again, that show is really selling faster than any of them right now. So get your tickets soon for that.
And the dates, February 24th?
Yes, that's a Saturday evening in 2007. My gosh, it's just around the corner at 7:30 p.m. And again, the ticket number is 534-3213.
Great. And let's see, after
and
that.
cheap too. We didn't talk about
That's
the
right.
prices.
We haven't talked about any of the prices.
Yeah,
You're right.
inexpensive. I should not say cheap because the talent is not cheap. But you know, part of the mission of the Arts in Focus series is to make the arts available to everyone who wants to come, and that also means keeping an affordable ticket price. So adults are $18 and students and children are $10 to see the professional shows, and that's the price for all of them, all three that we've talked about.
Well, very economical. So put on your blue suede shoes and come on
Do you
out.
have some? I bet you do.
And actually, I don't. I've got platform shoes, but
You need
no,
to
no blue
get
suede.
some blue suede.
If I had them, I would wear them to the show.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Well, right after that, the focus series is the Mikado.
Right, and that will be a WKCTC Music Department production, directed by Norm Wergler, and you know, people who have been coming to the theater here for a while will know some of the other things that he's directed. One being Pirates of Penzance by Gilbert and Sullivan. And we've done lots of different things here. Fiddler on the Roof, The Fantastics, and Norm does a wonderful job with community people. My Fair Lady was last year. So he's a great director, and the talent will come out to support this show. And the Mikado is probably the most famous, well-attended opera of all time. And it's what I call an accessible opera. I'm sorry, Norm, but it's something that people can understand. It's in English, and there's a lot of satire in this, and it's very funny.
And this is also geared for the entire family.
It's family. Gilbert and Sullivan did a lot of great work, and this is one of their most famous.
And we have several showings.
Yes, we do.
Well.
We have Friday and Saturday, April 27th and 28th, and then Sunday, April 29th. It will actually be running during the quilt show, and we're hoping that we will have some quilters come out to pick that up. You know, it's set in Japan, of course, and it was really written as kind of a thumb your nose at the British government, and they did it so as not to get in trouble in Japan, and that's why some of the names of the characters are as funny as they are, and you know, it's a funny show. You need to come see it.
There's also a matinee.
Yes, there is a school matinee. Friday, you're good. Friday, what day? Friday the
April
27th at
yes.
10, yes. And that's open not only to schools but also to Senior Citizens Center, or, you know, we have a lot of homeschooled kids come to the matinee performances with their families. So call the same number and you can also get tickets to matinees.
And I'm sure Norm will be looking for people to be
Yes,
in the show.
auditions are early January. They will, you know, we'll have a notice in the paper and it will also be on our website. And he will be auditioning, I believe that it is the 22nd and the 23rd, but don't hold me to that. I know it's that week.
Great. And another show is for the community, put on basically by the community as
Yes,
well.
yes, it really is. And it's very enjoyable. The work is good. The show will be as good as any that you will see here.
Great. And moving along, and we'll actually be ending the Focus series with the Spring Pops concert.
Yes, and that is also by the music department, and that is the community chorus, the college community chorus, and it's made up of community members who just have a desire to sing. They rehearse every Tuesday night. It's a non-audition chorus, so if people like to sing, it's still not too late. You can get in for the spring semester and sing in the Pops concert on May the 6th just by showing up at the first rehearsal. So it's definitely community and student driven.
That's great. It's May the 6th. It's actually the last show.
It's a Sunday
believe,
afternoon,
of
May
the
the
season.
6th at 3 p.m.
And there's no admission charge.
That's right. That's right. It's a way to just celebrate spring. That and the holiday concert are a great way to come out and see performers in the community that you might not even know that these people sing, and you'll come out and you'll go, oh, I know them, I go to church with that person, or I work with them, they work in the office down the hall. I'm always amazed at the new folks who come through.
That's happened to me. And my saying is, if it's free, it's for me.
Well, that one is, and the Mikado is also very affordable. The ticket prices for that are adults are $10, and students and children and senior citizens are $5. So that's, you know, a really great way to spend a day and not break the bank.
And now we'll rewind and go back to the first of the semester, and we'll talk about the Backstage Pass series, which is actually, I think, a newer series, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been going on 4 or 5 years now, but it's really one of the staff's favorite. It's a lot of work for everybody because we actually turn the stage into a coffee house, set up tables and chairs, cover all the tables with butcher paper and have a coloring contest. Todd Birdsong, our technical director, does a wonderful job with the staging of the event. And we never know where we're going to find the audience or the artist, because the difference here is the artists may have their back to the seats in the house where the audience would normally sit, and then they might be facing the back wall where the audience is. We have refreshments at that, and at this particular one featuring Carefree Highway, and they're an acoustic country band, the Culinary Arts Department of WKCTC will be doing the coffee and the desserts and cappuccinos, I think, and that's a treat in itself.
That is a treat. I've enjoyed one of the shows and had some of their refreshments.
Yeah, it's really great.
Absolutely excellent. So everything's put on by the school, including down to the desserts.
In that particular one, now, we have another one of these in March, on March 3rd, and we have a songwriters night. Now, the Culinary Arts Department has agreed to do one of the Backstage Passes per year, and the January one they will be here, and then we'll just do catering for the one on the 3rd. But we'll have some nice coffee and good desserts and great company.
So there's a lot of intimacy between the performers and the people watching, because they're within feet.
Oh yeah.
Of the performers.
Right, and I mean it's a coffee house. We actually turn the stage into a coffee house, and it's very intimate. You get an opportunity to talk with them almost always. You're sometimes as close to them as the camera is from me right now, so it's a great opportunity to get up close and personal and hear some really fine artists. We had Bon and the MASH here early in the year, and they did a really great job. We've had lots of different regional performers. Terry McJeffrey, Lujaton, Mandy Barnett, a great singer from Nashville, was here last year. So we try to bring in emerging artists, regional artists that are performing locally or from here to Nashville. And it's just a good way for them to be in not a bar atmosphere where the people are
Right.
basically here for the music. And that's a good experience for them. Plus, our television department does coverage of it and plays it back on Channel 2, and then the artist receives a DVD of their performance, which, if they're an emerging artist, really helps them out. That's hard to get good quality video of your performance. So that helps them out a lot.
Carefree Highway, Saturday, January the 27th at 7:30, and the Songwriters Night is Saturday, March the 3rd. I should point out
Right.
that both of them are general admission tickets.
$5 at the door only.
Right, so there's no pre-sales.
Right.
It's just, come
Right.
and enjoy the show.
Great way to spend a Saturday night.
It sure is in for $5.
Yeah.
You really can't go
I mean, you
wrong.
can't go to a movie for that.
Right.
And live entertainment, there's nothing like it. And then the next thing we move on to is the campus series, which is another new series for us, and that really is targeting our students and a younger audience, because we feel like that's part of what we should be doing, is getting our students into the theater. And so Backstage Pass came about with that same idea. But the campus series really plays to them. We did Break, which is hip hop dancing.
Right.
Almost sold it out. It was a really great show and a really young audience, which was exactly what we wanted. And then on March 15th, the Ides of March, we're doing Chris Porter, the comedian, and he was third place winner on Last Comic Standing on NBC last season, or in the fall actually. So a lot of students will be familiar with the name. He's really kind of a rock and roll comedian, and
Right.
so he's really cutting edge and a lot of fun, and does a lot of comedy club circuit things, but he also plays a lot of universities. So we're hoping that we will have great success and that our students and the young people in our community will come out for that.
We should note he's probably PG-13.
Oh, absolutely, and maybe worse than Peach. I mean, I'm thinking it's mature audiences, and there is definitely adult language and content.
And tell me about the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Well, this year we started doing something different as a fundraising effort for the series, and we call it On the Road. We do a bus trip in the spring. We did one in the fall, and then we'll do another one in the spring in May. The date will be announced, the specific date, a little later, and we'll be taking a busload of folks to the fabulous Fox Theater in St. Louis to see the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is also, even though the name doesn't sound like it, a mature audience musical. And it's been on Broadway. It's one of the newer Broadway shows. I think, I may be mistaken, but I believe that this is the first year it's gone out on tour. And so it will be at the Fox. We will have lunch at the Fox Club in the Fox Theater. We'll have snacks on the way up, wine and cheese on the way home. A great amount of fun. And, we have orchestra seats, so we have really good seats. And for $185, we get you there, we get your seats, we give you a great lunch in a really nice atmosphere, and food on the way home, and get you home safe and sound.
Wow, so you're providing the transportation and
The
show.
transportation, lunch, snacks on the way up and back on the bus trip, and the show.
What a great date.
Mm-hmm. It
That's
is a great
wonderful.
date. And we know that we're in May, early to mid-May, but the tickets have not actually gone on sale yet, so we know that we have a block of tickets and we're working on the date yet.
Great. So so anybody that's interested in the show can certainly contact
Yes,
you.
absolutely, and we can give them more information as we get it.
Great. Well, wrapping this up, we're looking at the art shows that we're hosting in our Clemens Fine Arts Gallery lobby space. We're going to be closing out I should say starting the year out with the Paul Reba exhibit.
That's right.
And rather, I guess I should be talking
That's
because
right.
because that's
Let me
more,
interview you now. Now, well,
so
let's see.
We'll change chairs here.
That's right. We just put the exhibit up, and it will be up through January.
January the 20th, right, for our first show. It'll still be up for our first show of the season. Right after that, we've been hosting for the last 3 years the Murray State University art students.
That's a really nice partnership, too, that I think is appreciated by both art departments.
It really is. We're in very good terms with Murray State University. We have a lot of our students going to their department as well. So, and of course, I'm a product of Murray State University.
As is Todd
art
Birdsong.
department, as is Todd Birdsong.
As am I.
And you are as well. So, see, we got a community of MSU students.
Right.
And we are hosting, again, from January 25th to February 23rd with the opening reception on January the 25th. and we're going to be showcasing Murray State University art students. Right after that, our next show is the work of Jack Cody, who happens to be a local artist. He's a co-owner of the Creatures of Habit shop on Broadway, and they do costume rental and sell other things. Curiosities is probably the best way of putting it, but I think he's more well known for costumes. And Jack actually was a Murray State University instructor.
And his opening reception is on March the 2nd.
That's correct, from 5 to 7.
They're giving me signals since I took over the interview behind you.
And last but not least, we got to point out that we're doing our very own student exhibit in our duct tape fashion show.
Which has become a tradition.
It has. This is our 3rd year to be doing so, April 5th to May the 1st. And of course, our opening night is April the 5th. And the show is hosted by me, yours truly here. And I promise to wear my paisley pants again. We're doing the opening, and during the opening we have our duct tape fashion show in which students from design class and my intro to art class from the last 2 semesters will be wearing duct tape clothing that they've made themselves. And that's really interesting. It's amazing what you can do with
It is.
duct
Somebody
tape.
asked me the other day, they said, oh, well, is it just pictures? And I'm like, no, they make coats and dresses and hats and boots. We've had lots of different items of clothing made from duct tape.
We've got it all. This past semester, the students were given the option of making a uniform, or to make like a superhero's outfit. So I've got a Wonder Woman outfit that's I'm hoping is going to come back and for the spring student show. I've got a Dick Tracy suit, amongst other things. I've been collecting things as the semester's progressed. So I'm looking forward to doing this. It's going to be a great show, and hopefully, if you guys can come out for the show.
Gosh, we're going to be busy.
It's really busy. What a great way to wind down the year. Last year we did have Channel 6 to come out.
We did have. We have a busy semester coming up. You have 1 minute. Would you like to close the show?
I think we did a really good job in filling the 27 minutes here. So, well, Gail, thanks for coming in and talking about the season and wrapping this up for us. And I guess we'll see you sometime next season.
I hope to see you all at the theater or the gallery.
Great. Well, I'll certainly be here. I'm Randy Simmons for Eye on Arts, and thanks for joining us.